Thanks for taking time to watch this video. We just want to update you all on this amazing first year for the Story of God ministry, and we want to give you a few highlights of what's happened on this journey of faith that God has taken us on as He's allowed us to get this production off the ground.
We were not permitted this year to simply just tell God's story without living it, it seems, every day. This year we really fellowshipped with Abraham and Moses and Joseph and Hosea and everyday Jesus, every day marveling at the distance that Jesus went to reach us.
We can't sing a song that says, "There is nowhere I won't go to find you. There is no price too high to pay," if we don't mean it. Because the one whose story we're telling does mean it. And He's invited us to join Him on this journey across many miles to seek out those whom His heart is pursuing.
Well, it's hard to believe that it was 12 months ago that the journey began for us in Story of God. It was actually last October that we said goodbye to Highland Christian Church, a place that we loved and people that we loved, and were met with a lot of encouragement and love from them as we left everything we knew and launched into the unknown.
In November, we had our first team meeting, weekly Bible studies, and our ministry training began.
In December, we drove to 6 states and miraculously raised $23,000, which was enough to purchase our sets, lights, sound gear, and costumes.
In January, we started rehearsals, moving between the Pillars Studios and my dad's cold and dusty garage. We began learning the show and learning how to set up the show just about anywhere.
In February, we continued our rehearsals at United Church, and it was really nice to have heat. We actually finished learning this story there, and we were so thankful for their generosity. We also sold our house in Asheville and bought one in Nashville.
In March, we continued to work on the story to perfect it, and we learned how to use wireless mics and our lights. During all that rehearsal, we packed up all of our belongings and moved from Asheville, North Carolina to Smyrna, Tennessee.
April 3rd and 4th arrived, finally a chance to perform the story in front of a crowd of people. We had no dress rehearsal. We literally went from a small dark room to Diana Wortham Theater in downtown Asheville. We were nervous, we were scared, but the love and the outpouring from Highland Christian Church completely overwhelmed us. Thanks to the strong leadership of Jason and Doreen Garris, we were able to perform for 2 sold-out crowds that weekend. We will never forget those nights, as that was the time that the ministry of Story of God was born.
At the end of April, we presented the Story of God in Charlotte, North Carolina. In May, we were able to purchase an RV and in faith tour on to Carmel, Indiana and Wichita, Kansas.
In May, we also recorded the Story of God CD and took 3 long days to film the entire production.
In June, we hosted a kids' summer camp where the kids were able to come and learn a part of the story. At the end of the week, they were able to perform the story on stage with us before we had our performance. We then traveled to Birmingham, Alabama, where the pastor actually built an extension to his stage so that we could perform the story for his church on a Sunday morning. After that, we went to Knoxville and had the longest day yet. We had load in, 2 performances, and load out. That was a really hard day.
In July and August, we had the very unexpected opportunity to serve on set of I'm Not Ashamed. Our whole team ended up being able to be on set, serving behind the scenes, doing photography, video, prayer, wardrobe, and a lot of us ended up being in the movie as well. I was very honored to have a lot of my photos used in promotional materials for the movie. We started some wonderful friendships with Christian artists in the film industry.
In September, we performed Story of God at the I'm Not Ashamed promotional tour kickoff in Nashville, Tennessee and Irving, Texas. It was good to see some of our friends from the movie set and help them get the word out about the film.
In October, we toured to Lansing, Michigan, where we performed in a renovated bowling alley. And then we toured to Bluffton, Indiana, where we had our first outdoor performance in a state park. Then we toured all the way to Spokane, Washington, where we performed in the Moody Aviation airplane hangar.
On the way to Spokane, we took a few days to visit the Grand Tetons in Yellowstone National Park. It sort of served as our finale to our first year together, and we just took time to take in all of God's beautiful artwork spilled out all around us. At the end of the trip, we had a campfire and we just remembered our first year together and all of God's provision and faithfulness to us, one step at a time.
And we learned that 10 people really can live in an RV and still love each other.
There were so many special moments this year, but nothing surpassed Bluffton, Indiana, and the House of Hope. And their director, Alicia, invited us to come with 1 week's notice, and she pulled off an amazing weekend of ministry, and we are so glad that she followed that spontaneous nudge from the Lord.
Because 2 of the young men in our ministry surrendered their lives to Jesus, and another young man wants to be on a future Story of God team that's changed hearts and changed desires.
We are looking ahead at the year 2016, and it has the potential to be an amazing year of ministry. It's all still just steps of faith, but we are committed to telling God's story and to multiplying story teams all over the world.
To enable us to do that, we are investigating the possibility of a theater in Branson, Missouri, where we could perform the story 5 times a week, 10 months out of the year. Hundreds of people would be able to see the story, while at the same time we would be raising funds to get the story of God overseas and training new teams.
We hope to recruit Story of God Team 2 very soon with auditions right at the first of the year.
We plan on touring to a few more states in 2016 before the possibility of establishing a show in Branson, Missouri. We hope to resume touring in 2017 after the show is established and we have a second team trained.
We also hope to begin our international touring this year. Thank you so much to all of you who have prayed for us and supported us financially. We have needed you and your encouragement every day. Thank you so much.
If you'd like to follow us on our journey this year, please go to our website and subscribe, and you'll receive regular video updates like this, only briefer. And we want to say thank you for your support and your prayers over the past year. As we enter into year 2, we still need your support and your prayers. And since fewer and fewer people are entering into church buildings, we want to say thank you for helping take the story of God to the most unlikely places.